Hello, Taras here. Welcome to another episode of our running series, What is a Fish? And I'm shocked it took me so long to get to this family because it's a really cool one, but today we're going to be talking about the Chaetodontidae, the marine butterfly fish. This family radiates across the entire world. You can find marine butterfly fish in the salt ponds here in Ninigret, especially later in the year around August. Indo-Pacific, you can find them off the coral reefs of Florida, off Panama, off Argentina. They are in deep water. They're associated with reefs. They can be in shallower water. They really are really diverse, highly adaptable. So the first major thing to understand with the Chaetodontidae is that they kind of broke off into two major flavors. There's the actual butterfly fish, which is relatively represented by the copperband butterfly that you see behind me. So there's also things like the banner fish, coral fish. So these are larger, more charismatic marine butterfly species that are just really, really large, fit for open water. And then very few of them have been really embraced by the aquarium industry just because of their huge size and also the fact that they are pretty much universally feeders of coral. They like to eat corals, sponges, and some of them are even voracious invertebrate feeders. So for the most part, despite the fact that they're really, really beautiful, a lot of these butterfly species that everyone loves, like the raccoon butterfly, people can't really keep them in captivity unless you're willing to make extreme sacrifices to the level of invertebrate livestock that you're willing to have in your reef. Also, to keep their diet satiated, you're going to need to have lots of coral-based feed in the first place, and that can be an obstacle for a lot of people. It's species like the copperband butterfly that are really most embraced in the reef hobby because these are the quote-unquote reef-safe butterfly fish. These, instead of being ravenous sponge feeders and coral feeders, are more adept at eating zooplankton, particularly copepods, fish eggs, shrimp larvae, things of that manner. So you can see that they have a very long, elongated snout, and they use that to forage the reef constantly and constantly be taking out all those microcrustaceans and micro forage. Because of this, they are also kind of difficult to keep because like the mandarin, you have to have a really well-aged tank with lots of complex rock work. A refugium doesn't hurt, just to support the sheer mass amounts of microcrustaceans and invertebrates needed to satiate this particular species. So they don't come in tremendously often because they are relatively difficult to aquaculture. In fact, they weren't aquacultured until just a couple of years ago, and still to this day, copperband butterfly farms and aquaculture of all these other marine butterfly fish is still highly experimental. So most of the individuals that you will see in the aquarium store are wild caught, and they are highly prone to parasites, particularly when they are going through stressful periods such as transport. They're particularly sensitive to things like ick, marine velvet, and lymphocystis. So it's very important that whenever you're thinking about buying a marine butterfly fish, you're ready with a really well-cycled, well-prepped quarantine tank, just to make sure that your investment is going the way that you want to. So the Chaetodontidae, sponge feeders, coral feeders, but the copperband butterfly, the pyramid butterfly, the zooplankton feeding versions, really great additions to a tank. Just make sure you got lots of pods ready. If you need to buy some pods, stop on by one of our locations, such as Coventry, or visit us at osachoice.com. See you next time.